All right, so this is our third section. Very excited to show actually what that Socratic seminar, after you've done all that prep work, all the intentional planning, what it really looks like in a classroom. So this is from Mara's 7th grade classroom just from a few weeks ago.
And so this is our Socratic seminar, the student-led discussion. And you can see the students are engaged in creating questions and talking to one another. I think what's really powerful about this particular group is there are students that never talked before, never have raised their hands and been part of a discussion. And it's just amazing the doors that are open for discussion where students had previously not had a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see here the co-pilot and the pilot positions. Co-pilots are helping each other. This is a really powerful little clip here where they are talking about how things went. So there's like a pause in the Socratic seminar, and now they're talking with one another, and basically consolidating what they've learned and building off each other's ideas. And so I'll play this. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. And so here, students that are, they're just discussing, how things went, did they get their ideas heard? So it's kind of like a pause in the Socratic seminar where there's a mini discussion.
And look what she does. She grabs the pencil. She's like, hang on, I'll help think of a couple more questions. I'll add on to your questions. Totally organically, no teacher really present except to record.
And the student that's doing the writing is typically a student that isn't necessarily all that involved. So for her to feel empowered enough to take over and start creating a question, again, I can't express enough how empowering it is for the students when we're in all these different phases of a Socratic seminar. So, and this is another example of a student who is very, very quiet, doesn't raise her hand. She's a lovely girl, but she became part of the discussion. I was absolutely shocked to see that she was writing a question. And then I ended up pushing her, like, you are going to go in the center, you are going to talk. But this was before I pushed her to that level. And there she is creating a question, being part of something that usually she's too shy or whatever. I'm not sure what her reasonings are for not being part of a discussion, but that's what I love about the co-pilot position that I've discussed before, is that students that might be afraid to actually do the talking, their voice is there on that Post-it, and she's creating an incredible question that ended up being part of the discussion.
Oh, go ahead.
And then let's see, this was an extremely interesting day. In the after, we had a Socratic, Nancy and I were working together on our Socratic seminar, and in the morning, we didn't get quite finished with things. So we thought, oh, we'll take some World Geo time and we'll finish up the Socratic seminar. Well, the electricity went out. So, first idea that was posed to me was, oh, let's go out and have recess. And I said, nope. We're gonna continue through this. And so in the dark with no electricity, we powered through and had probably the best Socratic seminar experience for students and for me that I've ever had in my 22 years of teaching. So you can see that there's students now, granted, they have their iPads, which still are off of a battery, but the student poses a very deep question. Do you think There Will Come Soft Rains is the aftermath of the Velt? I did not tell this student to fire up your iPad. Usually we're writing on a Post-it, but because it's dark, you can't see what you're writing on a Post-it. So he comes up with this very high level question. And I also want to throw in there that this student is a very quiet student as well. So the power of being in the outer circle and as a co-pilot, I can't speak to that enough. So it was a incredible journey through the dark, let's say. And when the lights went on, we were all disappointed because we were having such like authentic, high-level discussions about technology and the impact that it's having. And there we were without technology, having a Socratic seminar about how technology is impacting our lives.
It did feel magical. We just kept kind of looking at each other and couldn't believe we were.
Yeah, we're like,
yeah. But for 47 minutes, they talked.
For
and
47
discussed,
minutes,
without
yeah.
teachers really having to put much input into it.
Yeah.
So going back to this again, it's all about that mutual humanization. And then also the Fisher and Fry quote, I think is really important too, making sure that we don't lower our expectations about students, because then they do retreat from us. They don't believe in themselves. And Socratic Seminars is a way for students to really believe in themselves and teach other people, and for the trust and the power in the classroom to switch, so that the teachers truly trust the students trust themselves and each other.
And I think taking yourself out of the equation as much as possible during a Socratic seminar is part of that power, that power shift, giving the power to the students rather than, this is what we're going to talk about today and this is how it's going to go. It's absolutely amazing when you trust them, what they do with, and it's high level academic discussions. It's not, frilly willy.
Right. And then if there's anybody who's principal or anybody else like a curriculum director, we have just a couple of slides of what to do, maybe whole school or district wide. Something to think about is how we're remodeling this with the adults in the building too. This is pre-COVID, you can see that, but this is all of the teachers in our building participating in a Socratic seminar about equity, reading an article, annotating it, and then doing the inner and outer circle. And then asking questions and debriefing with the teachers. And you also debrief like this with students too, like, what did you feel your brain doing? How do you feel like the Socratic seminar helped or didn't it help? Like really debriefing after that learning event happens.
And I think that's a really important piece for you to experience as an adult if you haven't been part of a Socratic seminar. Because I know I'm able to relate with the students how they might feel nervous when they're in the inner circle, because I was part of this Socratic seminar, and I always tell the kids, I get it. Like, you just got to power through and know that what you want to share is important, and other people want to hear your views. So experiencing a Socratic seminar as an adult, I think is key to developing your empathy for what students might be feeling when they're in that situation as well.
Absolutely. Claire was talking about this before too. Both Claire and Mara were able to participate in this peer-to-peer teaching. Should we elaborate on that at all, or what do you think?
Giving students the chance when they might be struggling to pair another student up. Is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is really powerful. That's also that mutual humanization where you're putting the power in the kids' hands to teach someone else. And isn't that when we learn the most, when we're able to model and to teach? So finding those connections between students to partner them up, making good matches. They learn so much more than a teacher pulling and working and reiterating something the same way. Another student could probably do that much better.
Yeah. So in the years that I've been at Horning, we've had the sixth grade get instructed by the older students who have already learned about Socratic seminars. So what you're seeing here is a mixture of 6th and 7th grade students, and the 6th grade students are being instructed by the 7th grade students. And so the 7th grade students feel really empowered that they get to come down to 6th grade and share their knowledge, and the 6th graders get to see their role models and how that develops.
Absolutely. And then something else that you might want to do as a school or in professional learning communities is humanize the speaking and listening standards. So you can click on this, which is something I did just a couple summers ago, where I looked at kindergarten through 12th grade standards for speaking and listening and looked to see, like, try to put it in regular language, like where were the jumps, where are the things that I need to explicitly teach as a teacher or as a coach, so that the students can make those leaps from grade level to grade level, and different things to consider. And what was interesting is from kindergarten through 12th grade, in order for the speaking and listening standards to really be met, it has to be authentic. It has to be an authentic experience, because that's the only way the standards will work. So you can check out that link there. It has all of the ideas from kindergarten through 12th grade there. And then if you're observing in classrooms, this is something that might work really, really well. This is the Reforming Teaching Observational Protocol. So it's linked inside the slide. If you click on the title, it'll take you there, and it's also in the notes section. But it has qualitative and quantitative ways of collecting information about what students are doing in the class, how are they asking questions, how are the teachers activating the students' background knowledge, how are students involved overall in the classroom. And then also, I love this last part too, the last sentence there, is teacher a listener in the classroom, and the students are doing more of the discussing. And then there's another protocol that's called the shadowing protocol, that's often used with English language learners, but it would be really powerful to use across the whole entire school for everybody. It shows what are students actually doing. Are they listening? Are they reading, writing, speaking, listening? What are they doing, and for what amount of time? And then you quantify that and also have qualitative observations. But those directly connect to, like, the heart and soul of what a Socratic seminar is all about. And then this is one of our last slides. It's just really about that reflection piece, making sure that you're reflecting with students throughout the whole entire process of Socratic seminars. Like Claire said before, like stopping, midway, or, someplace where it just seems natural, and have them debrief on how it's going for them. And then especially at the end, what did you learn? What was your brain doing? What did you feel? All really important.
I think the debriefing part is something that I've incorporated and grown from this year. Often I want to bulldoze through things. Okay, we're done. Now it's over. But Nancy here has coached me to make sure they get to talk to each other about debriefing, basically talk to each other and kind of consolidate their feelings about what has gone on.
And you could also do that through writing, through journaling too, right? A written reflection rather than more discussion. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so something to think about, like, as you're getting to this third part of video, like, really think about what you've learned, what you'd like to try out with students. We would love to hear from you. Here are our emails. We'd love to hear questions that you have. Sometimes people send pictures or student work of things that happened in your classrooms at no matter what grade level. So we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much for being with us today and taking some time out. We hope we hear from you. Take care. Thank you.